What's up, Get Better Basketball community? I'm Coach DeMarco, and this is Focused. In today's episode, I'm going to take you through Gonzaga's game plan against one of the nation's top defenses in Virginia and show you how they were able to use ball screens to pull off a 98-75 victory against the Packline defense. You're not going to want to miss this episode. Before I jump into it, make sure you show me some love by hitting that like button down below, turn on your notifications, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. There's more great episodes like this one coming up each and every week. Before we jump into Gonzaga's game plan against the Packline defense, I'm going to take you back to a previous episode of Get Better Basketball Live with Kramer Soderberg, who's an expert on the Packline defense. Coach Soderberg's father is an assistant coach at the University of Virginia, and Coach Soderberg, an assistant coach in college, has used the Packline defense for many years. He shares with us in this episode what Virginia likes to do with their ball screen defense. This is going to be important to understand because then you'll be able to see how Gonzaga is able to exploit it with their use of ball screen. Coach Soderberg does an excellent job breaking down Virginia's ball screen defense. In the middle third, they like to have a quick show and then recover. And I'm going to show you what Gonzaga does against that and how they exploit it. And on the side ball screens, they hard hedge, and it almost becomes a double team until that player gives up the ball. But at the very least, it's a very hard hedge where that defender is going to hold a little bit longer than they do on middle ball screens. Again, I'm going to show you what Gonzaga does to exploit both of these coverages right now. This first set I call Iverson slip, and really, really simple. We're going to see the cut over the top and immediately see a ball screen. But what I want you to do is look at the weak side. Coach Soderberg talked about this and said that they want to try to flood on the weak side on a side ball screen. It's hard for them to do that now with the positioning of Gonzaga's players. So we're going to see a side ball screen and a very, very quick slip to the basket for an easy layup. This is the first set that Gonzaga ran against Virginia. And you can see right away they're setting the tone that they're going to use slips on those side ball screens to get players open going to the basket. Virginia will eventually counter this later on in the game, but it's very, very difficult with the way that Gonzaga has positioned their other players on the perimeter, especially with them being pretty good shooters. So great job, great use of a slip to the basket to get an easy layup to get the game started. Ball screen slip. There it is, 2 points. In the second play here, we're going to see Corey Kispert do a great job setting a screen and popping. One of the best players in the country. Great job really popping off of that screen, or it's almost like ghost action. We're going to take a look at it one more time because he's really showing the screen and then slipping out or popping so quickly. So never really even gets there to set the screen. Again, knowing that Virginia is going to soft hedge in that situation. So, and try to hold for a second. He just gets out there so quickly and is such a great shooter that it makes it so difficult for Virginia in this situation. Remember the example that Coach Soderberg shared with us, the player does a really nice job recovering. It's a lot harder with a great player like Corey Kispert, who gets out there so quickly and is such a deadly shooter from the outside. Let's take a look at it one more time. But you see within their game plan, Gonzaga is doing a great job slipping off these screens or popping off these screens and not even really setting them. And that is their game plan against Virginia. They know how Virginia likes to defend these screens, and they do such a great job, as we see in this instance, getting open off of them. Now we're going to take a look at a side ball screen. And if you remember earlier in the game, the first play, Gonzaga sets a side ball screen and they slip immediately to the basket. That's going to put Virginia on their toes. We know that they like to hard hedge in these situations, but Gonzaga does a couple of things really, really well here. I'm going to see in this possession, I like that they're catching the pass a little bit higher out on the perimeter with a little bit more space to work with. We're going to see this side ball screen come, and we know this player is supposed to hard hedge this ball screen, and this defender is going to fight over, almost can act like a double team. Earlier in the game, we had a slip to the basket. So this defender is hesitant to hard hedge, and they're going to actually show a little bit quicker in this instance. So you're going to see right there, he's supposed to really cut off the momentum of this ball handler, and he's worried about the slip. This defender, against a really good screen this time, because they did not intend to slip, is going to have a harder time getting through. And then we're going to see the player have an open pull-up two-pointer off of it. So really nice job by Gonzaga here. They slipped it, they slipped or popped, and now they're going to come back and they're going to set a good hard screen and a roll, and it's going to cause Virginia to hesitate here. Again, this defender, typically for Virginia, as we saw from Coach Soderberg, is going to come on and really hedge hard to impede this player's progress and almost acts like a double team. That doesn't happen in this case. He does a quick show because he's afraid of this player slipping to the basket, which is what happened the first possession of the game. And now we're going to have an open jump shot off of it. So you can see how Gonzaga is mixing things up a little bit, and it's really keeping Virginia on their toes. But ultimately, they're exploiting what they know Virginia likes to do in ball screen coverage. Really well-designed plays, and that's why they get off to such a great start and eventually go on to a double-digit victory against one of the best defenses in the country. So we've seen Gonzaga slip and pop in a middle ball screen situation, a side ball screen situation. Now we're going to see another middle ball screen, but this time I want to point to, first of all, Kispert doing a great job. Look at his base in this screen. Look how wide he is. It's going to make it very tough for this defender to get over the top. Virginia will either show or they'll flat hedge or soft hedge, if you will, against middle ball screens. And Coach Soderberg talks about that in his Packline video. Well, great solid screen here by Kispert. I think this defender is probably thinking to himself, well, the last time he popped off of it, so if I don't get over the top, I'll end up staying with him on the pop and almost inadvertently switching, which is not typical for Virginia, though we're going to see that adjustment coming up. But right now, instead, he never gets over the screen. And now it forces this big on a guard, one of the best guards in the country. And he just hesitates and again pulls up for an open shot. So just to take you through that one more time, we're going to see a really quality ball screen, not a pop or a slip this time. He's actually going to run to the rim when he realizes that this guy stays with him and he has inside position. This defender typically should be getting back to recover, and then this defender should be going back to his guy. That's what Virginia likes to do, is a quick show or a soft hedge and then recover, but they don't get to do that here. Wide open two-point shot or open two-point shot against a defender who doesn't really want to be playing against the guard. You're going to see a nice job here. Again, there's the screen and the pull-up for two. So far, we've been able to see the middle ball screen and side ball screen, a pop from the middle and a slip to start the game on a side ball screen, which really put Virginia on the defensive. Then we're going to see Gonzaga come back and mix it up and set good quality, solid screens, which is going to open up scoring opportunities for their guards. I'm going to take you through a couple of other plays that Virginia will have to defend against Gonzaga, but I also want to show you an adjustment that Virginia ended up making against these ball screens as we see the chess match between two great teams. So Virginia comes back here. We know Tony Bennett is one of the best coaches in the country, and they're going to make a really simple adjustment. They're going to switch on this side ball screen. So take it through the possession here. There's the first screen. Now we're going to see the side ball screen with Kispert again setting it. He sets the screen. His defender is going to soft hedge it but then just jump to a switch. And this defender is going to stay with Kispert, who likes to pop off of it. All right, so there's the switch. And we see Virginia do a really nice job here and end up getting a block shot. They were in the process of starting a really nice run as they made some adjustments on defense. It led to some opportunities to score on offense. So again, we're going to see the initial screen, no problem there. And here's the side ball screen. And right there, we're going to see him with his hand pass off Kispert to the other defender. And then he's going to step up and take the player with the ball. This is not something that they did earlier on. In fact, earlier possession, this player turned the corner and attacked and had a pull up. Now we get a switch. Player does a really nice job here staying in front, and then great help defense and the blocked shot. So it's a chess match between two great teams. Virginia says, you know what, you're slipping against us. You've had some pops, and now you're setting solid screens and getting open jump shots. We're just going to switch this time, and we're going to stay in front of you, force you to get to the basket, and get great help. So we've seen Gonzaga's game plan is to really use ball screens to exploit Virginia's defense. And Virginia made a nice adjustment by switching on that last possession. So now Gonzaga is going to come back and set a double drag ball screen. There's the first screen. Now, typically what Virginia had done the last possession was they switched it. Well, Kispert's not going to allow that to happen because he's going to sail off his man and walk him down to the block. Does a really nice job. Really well-designed play here. Here comes the second screen, and we're going to see this defender come out and now hedge, which is going to allow a slip. And they're going to get back to the slip now. All right, quick slip off of it. But here's the key. Kispert's defender has to be the tag man. Such a great high IQ play here by the guard, hitting Kispert out for an open three-point shot. Again, one more time, Gonzaga is going to come back now and say, all right, you did a nice job, but we're going to come back and we're going to run a double drag, which is going to make it a lot harder for you to switch, or at least you're going to have to make multiple switches off these screens that come right in a row. They don't want to switch here in this situation, so we're going to see a hedge, a quick hedge, and then this offensive player is going to slip so quickly, forcing the tag man to stay in the paint. Kispert's just going to walk out to the three-point line. Great read and open three-point shot. You know, and one of the things I want to say as we watch through this one more time is that Gonzaga is just so well prepared for everything Virginia is going to do. This is something that this guard has clearly done in practice or seen on film, and he very, very casually here off of this play is going to pause off of that second screen. He looks inside, he sees the tag man is there, so he knows there's no one out on the three-point line to cover Kispert. Really, really high IQ play. We're going to see here in almost identical fashion to the first play of the game that Gonzaga is going to set a side ball screen. And yes, they will go back to slipping to the basket when it's appropriate. They set up the same look with three players on this side of the floor, and they clear out this side. The only defender is this tag man, the low tag man, who's going to get into the paint, that's going to be able to defend this slip to the basket. They're going to hit the slip. He does a great job on the catch, recognizing the defenders here, and you're going to see three quick passes, a drive to the basket, and then a kick for a three-pointer. This is what makes Gonzaga so tough to play against. Great ball fake, a kick out for a three. He doesn't make the shot, but that doesn't matter. They'll make those shots over the course of the game. It's what they do on this possession. Virginia does a better job tagging here and defending the slip, which they did not do the first possession of the game. So we're going to get a great read, a kick out, multiple quick passes, good ball fake, drive to the basket, kick, and a three-point shot. And like I said, even though he missed it, it's still a great opportunity with a drive and a kick situation and really, really nice ball movement. I would be remiss if I didn't show you one screen off the ball because Virginia has a history of fighting through screens. We're going to see a really nice flare screen set here in early offense by Gonzaga. You're going to see this defender try to fight over the top of this flare, doesn't get there, and Kispert's going to get an open three-pointer. So another example of Gonzaga doing a great job. Flare screens are always tough to defend, but especially if you're going to fight hard over the top, you really have to get there against a player like Kispert, who's such a great shooter. They don't get there in enough time, and he's going to get an open three-point look. So you see Gonzaga from top to bottom use screens, mostly ball screens, to exploit Virginia's pack line defense. I really enjoy watching Gonzaga play because they do such a nice job preparing for each opponent specifically and having a game plan that's going to work well against their style of defense. Make no mistake about it. Virginia is clearly one of the top, if not the top, defensive team this year, as they are each and every season. But Gonzaga uses ball screens, and in particular, slips early on in the game to keep Virginia on their toes. They then continue to adjust as needed based on what Virginia does with their ball screen coverage. Gonzaga is clearly the best team in the country and the favorite to win the national championship. And that's no surprise after watching them exploit Virginia's pack line defense. If you like this video, make sure you show me some love and hit that like button down below. Leave me a comment because I love hearing from the Get Better Basketball community. Let me know what you thought about Gonzaga's game plan against Virginia and what about Virginia's adjustments that they made throughout the course of the game. Make sure you turn on your notifications and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have more great content out each and every week. As always, get better every day. I also have to thank Dr. Dish Basketball for continuing to be a great partner. Which one of the best ways to play against any defense, especially a pack line defense? Well, that's make shots from the outside. Get a new Dr. Dish and help your team to become the best shooters they can be. Defenses won't know what to do. If you mention the Get Better Basketball chat or hashtag GBetBBLive, you'll get up to $300 off select Dr. Dish shooting machines. Don't miss out on this great opportunity.